sex columnist Dorothy Black is joining me in studio, and today we're going to be chatting about role-playing. Now, Dorothy, role-playing is something that I think people don't like to talk about.
No, they don't like to talk about it because we also think of role-playing as you have to, get the little French maid outfit on and the living. You don't have to do that. But they think it's like, oh, it's such a mission, I have to go get outfits, but you don't.
And you have to get into character.
You have to get into character.
And how am I not going to laugh?
I know. Well, you have to laugh. That's the thing. Like, if you're going to play with role-playing, you have to have huge dollops of humor and lots of imagination. But you have to be able to laugh at yourself a bit because, seriously, some parts of it are going to be really ridiculous.
All right. So I guess my first question is, how do you ask your partner about role-playing? How do you introduce this into your relationship?
You know, the thing is, like, role-playing can actually start really simply. Like, a lot of people actually start experimenting with role-playing over text or over email. So they start playing with the words. They start imagining characters together. So I'm in the garage or I'm in the kitchen and then you do this. It's like sex chats online, except you're doing it with your partner and you're doing it over WhatsApp or over email.
Yeah.
The point is that you're imagining characters, you're imagining spaces, and you slip into those characters and you slip into those places. So the easier way to start would be kind of like over WhatsApp to kind of start a little saucy role play on that kind of platform. Okay,
now before we even get to WhatsApp,
sure.
How do you even bridge the subject with your partner? What do you have to do?
Well, you know, I think the impetus for bringing the subject up is always going to be like, why do we want to role play? Like, why do we want to kind of like move into that space? And it's always going to be about like, you know, you want to explore your eroticisms, you want to have fun with them, you've had this fantasy, you want to kind of like bring it into the real life. And it can be as fluid as, and depending on what your partner's like, as fluid as just jumping straight into it. So you send them like a little sexy WhatsApp going like, imagine if I'm in the kitchen with my knickers on, or, you know, whatever's going to blow your mind. And then see how they pick up from that. And if they don't pick up from that, to go like, well, honey, actually, what I'm trying to do here is a little bit of like fantasy role play, like play along. And if they want to like really start thinking about it and talking about it and unpacking it, then you can go into the, well, I've been wanting to explore this fantasy or this eroticism. But I think for most parts and for most cases, people just kind of like slip into it because we all know a fun game when we see it, you know, unless we're really uncomfortable with it. And I think if your partner is going to be really uncomfortable with just kind of slipping into it organically on the text side of stuff, because look, you're not going to like rock up one day and say like, here's a fireman's outsuit, boom, go for it.
Put it on.
Put it on. That needs a discussion. But I think if you're going to start with the little role plays online and with WhatsApp, you can kind of be a little bit surprising with it.